Now we know how to create lists. I would like you to go ahead and add the rest of the lists for our project. As a guide, they all need to be unordered lists. We already have the header items in place of home, shop and contact us. So we just need to change this back to an unordered list and make sure we just have these 3 links which we see here, rather than the nested one which we added in the last video. Then we have 2 more lists in the sidebar to be placed under the headings we already have. So this section here is 1 list, and then below we have a list for the prices too. Finally, down at the very bottom we have a footer menu 2. This is just the same as the one we added for the header. So give this a go. It's a great way to learn by repeating and getting some practice. If you still don't feel confident enough to give this a go by yourself, that's completely fine. Just follow along with me and we'll now do it together. Okay, so let's close this and go back over to Visual Studio. First, make sure our header menu is back to an unordered list. So give that a change. We also have this unordered list nested in the middle, so remove that. Then we have the list that we've seen before underneath the category header. First, I'm going to go ahead and add a horizontal line. We can do this with a HR element. This is also a self-closing tag, meaning no closing tag is needed. So just taking a look at the finished project once more, up to the sidebar. The horizontal line is just this one we see here, which separates the header from the list items, and the same for the price too. So let's take a look and go over to the category, which is this H3 tag here, and then we can add our HR. Then just below this we can start to construct our unordered list. Inside here, our first list item, which we have, is all items. And these can be anything which you prefer, it doesn't really matter. Remember, this is all just for practice. So cameras, then laptops, after laptops we had phones, accessories, and the final one was for other. So give that a save, over to the browser and refresh. So our top menu is now back as it should be, and below the category we have our line, which spreads the full width of the page for now, but that's nothing to worry about. And then below this we have our list items in a unordered list. Then we have the second sidebar list for the price ranges, which we're going to add just below this price heading here. So back over to the text editor, we'll add these in just below this H3 for the price. Make sure that this unordered list again is still between this div section. Remember, this is the full container for our sidebar, so all the content for the sidebar needs to go between the opening and closing tags. So let's start again with our horizontal rule, and then our unordered list. Inside of here, our list items, we can add the price. So let's say 129. The second price range was 10 to 29. And then I keep going, 30 to 59. And let's say 60 to 99. And then the very bottom one can be 100 plus. And then save. Reload, and then we have our second unordered list below the price. So that's looking okay now. Finally, we have the footer menu. So first we need to create a footer div section to add these inside. So remember, we've got the div section for our header. We've got the div section here for our sidebar. And then down at the bottom, we've got this div section for our main content, which includes the products. So just after this section, and also still between the body tags, we're going to add a new div. And this is for the footer section. All we need to do is just add a new unordered list with some new list items. This is exactly the same as the header section. So we have home, we have shop, and then finally we have contact us. With that in place, give that a save, and then let's see this in the browser with a refresh, and we now see this down at the very bottom. Now we'll have these lists in place. Next we're going to move on to taking a look at adding images.